Muskogee County School District Mental Health Wellness Sessions presented by the Pastoral Institute. This program is supported in part by a grant from the Coronavirus Response Fund.
Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Tom, and I'm going to be talking to you today about a word called grief. G-R-I-E-F. Let me hang up my jacket here. Put on my sweater. You know, fall is coming. It's going to be a little cooler. As I was driving to work this morning, I noticed all of the limbs and the leaves from the storm last night. And so thankful that it wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be. Let me get my shoes on here for a moment. I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine in just a few minutes, but this morning I'm going to be talking to you about losses and the feelings that we often have when we lose something. You know, sometimes we might lose a favorite toy or something that is important to us, and we'll get maybe we get a little bit of angry or a little anger, and then we might feel a little sad. Oftentimes with grief, with loss, we do feel sad. So let me introduce you to somebody here. Good morning. This is my dog, Emma, and she's a really good friend of mine. She brings me a lot of joy and a lot of happiness every day. And this has been really a hard year for us and with Emma because earlier this year she went to the veterinarian and she had a procedure done and she got really sick and she ended up in the hospital. And she was gone for over a week, and that made me really sad. I was missing her. And then the doctor called one night and said she might not make it. And when I thought about losing Emma, that was hard. I remember crying because I didn't want to lose her. I know that all of you have had a lot of losses this year. For example, I know that many of you didn't get to finish out the school year, and so you didn't get to say goodbye to your friends, and you didn't get to end the school year like you usually do. And then summer came, and all of those things we like to do during the summer, maybe play on a ball team or go to a camp, we couldn't do that either. Couldn't even do vacation Bible school or any of those things. So those were all losses. And I think a lot of people were feeling really sad, right? And so right now, this morning when I'm talking to you, some of you are sitting in the classroom and some of you are sitting at home over the internet. And I know that's a loss. I remember as a child, I grew up in a military family, and my dad would go to this country or that country, and he'd be gone for a number of months. And I just remember all the feelings that I had about that. And those feelings are what grief is all about. So what do we do when we have grief? What do we need to do? Well, the first thing that is important is for us to allow ourselves to have feelings. To recognize that, you know, today I'm just feeling sad about it, and that's okay. A second thing that helps is to be able to talk to someone about grief. I know sometimes when I come home from work, I go sit in my chair, and Emma will come up and jump down beside me, and I might end up talking to her about my day. I know also it's important to talk to my friends and talk to the people who care about me, talk to my parents. grief brings with it lots of thoughts and feelings, and that's normal. That's a part of life. I want you to all get through these days, and these are difficult days with COVID. And I know, for example, just having to wear this mask every day sometimes makes me sad. But I also know that I'm not alone. And that's the other important part of the grief process, is to remind ourselves that we're not alone. In fact, we want to spend time with those who care about us, letting them know how we feel. And that's very, very important. So that's really all I have to say about grief this morning. I'm very thankful that I got a few minutes to spend with you. And I'm very, very thankful that you're my neighbors. Because the fact that you're my neighbors means I'm not alone, that I have friends who care about me. So thank you for being my friend. And thank you for being Emma's friend this morning.